The meeting of the Shreveport City Council now been called to order. Invocation will be given by Chief Wolverton, and Councilman Corbin will lead us in prayer. I mean, the pledge of allegiance.
Please pray with me. Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for all your many blessings. Thank you for your mercy, grace, and your everlasting love for all of us. Lord, we take time to recognize this day and what it represents. We pray an extra measure of grace for those who were affected by the tragedy of the 9/11 attacks today. Lord, so many first responders and many citizens. And Father, even today they mourn. So we lift them up to you and just ask your peace upon them that surpasses all understanding. We pray that you be with us during this meeting. May your Spirit visit with us. May you lead our hearts and minds and give us godly wisdom from above to do those things and make decisions that would honor and glorify you. And Lord, we ask for forgiveness of our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, you call the roll, please.
Councilman Bradford.
Present.
Councilman Everett.
Here.
Councilman Vincent.
Present.
Councilman Corbin.
Present.
Councilman Flores.
Present.
Councilwoman Lee. Councilman Rowe.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the
So
Administrative
moved.
Conference second and council meeting? Please vote.
Hand vote.
And vote, please. This is 6. 1.
I motion. He's second.
Does any council member have any awards or recognitions they'd like this time? Councilman Jenkins?
Just wanted to say that I was greeted at the new Y this morning by one of the Shreveport's finest firemen promoting September 11th remembrance, and they had the Stairmaster set up to walk up 110 flights of stairs. And actually I hadn't seen it before. I had heard about it, but I thought it was a good source of remembrance, and certainly want to thank the chief for his team's greater efforts for supporting that event, because it was a good thing to see this morning.
110 flights in full gear.
I didn't quite do the full gear. Let me just say that I was worried about misuse of city resources, so I just put that aside. I didn't want there to be any, something that I was doing anything illegal. So
Strike that comment.
Councilman Ellison?
Thank you. I just wanted to briefly also say Happy New Year to everybody in the Jewish community. It's Rosh Hashanah, and that's in the happiest of celebrations of the year. Also want to recognize the loss of one of our, and I'm sure somebody else will have a longer statement about this, but Dwayne Ebarb was, just a really heartfelt advocate for those with disabilities. He did just wonderful advocacy for many years, and many of us crossed paths with him advocating for one cause or another. He did pass away a few days ago, and just what a loss, but what an impact his life made for others who have challenges. And so we want to thank him and honor him, and just make a brief mention of what a great legacy he's left.
Okay. Councilman Bradford?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And it is with sadness that I also announced that Father Andre McGriff, who was pastor of Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament for many years, as well as the chairman of the Christian Services, passed away, and his funeral will be tomorrow in New Orleans. Great servant, great man of God.
Any other council member? Seeing none. Mayor Tyler, do you have any distinguished guests or recognition at this time?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the council. I have some announcements I'd like to make. I'd like for us to all keep in our thoughts and prayers, of course, the families of those who lost their loved ones during the 9/11 attacks on our country. So we join the nation today as we remember that fatal day. And in addition, we want to also echo what Councilman Efferson said about Mr. Ebark. He is someone that I've worked with closely even from my days as a superintendent. So we want to keep that family in prayer also. And of course, we want to just remind everybody that the Shreveport Fire Department did deploy 12 specially trained firefighters to South Carolina to assist with possible swift water rescue and emergency management operations in anticipation of Hurricane Florence striking landfall on the East Coast later this week. And of course, we explained yesterday, I think Chief Warburton did explain that our firefighters really are part of the Louisiana Urban Search and Rescue Task Force, and they left at noon today for their 8-day deployment and will reach Columbia, South Carolina Wednesday or tomorrow after spending the night in Atlanta. I want to remind everyone of the upcoming Small Business Summit to be held Friday, September 28th from 8:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Shreveport Convention Center. The event will be hosted by the City of Shreveport and the Louisiana Economic Development Department. And so far, we have more than 400 small businesses from around the state registered and more than 60 vendors scheduled to be in attendance. These businesses will get the information needed to prepare them to be ready to do business with municipalities by 2019 or just do business across this state and across this nation. Registration is still open online through Friday, September 21st. For more information, please call Ms. Karen Burns at 673-5060. And today, here in Shreveport, we have 13 small businesses that will attend the Louisiana Contractors Accreditation Institute. That course begins today and will go through October 17th, 2018 at Northwest Louisiana Technical College. The 6-week program will assist small and emerging construction companies and learning the basics of the industry and preparing for the business and law portion of the contractor's licensing exam. A special thanks to Dr. Earl Metter and Assistant Dean Gerald Joshua for their willingness to host the classes. And we want to thank also Mr. Brad Graff with Cawthorn Graff Smoke Engineering, Inc. for providing scholarships to 10 small business owners. Our next announcement, the Restore Louisiana Homeowner Assistance Program application deadline for the March and/or August 2016 flood events is set for Monday, October 1st, 2018. This deadline applies to homeowners that have already submitted a survey, qualified, and were invited to apply, but have not yet submitted their application. We strongly encourage that those who qualify to submit their application by the deadline, as homeowners will not have another opportunity to request assistance or reimbursement from the program. If you need assistance in submitting the required documents, please call the Restore Louisiana Homeowners Assistance Program at 1-866-735-2001. I'll repeat that. You may call 1-866-735-2001. I also want to just say that the staff and I had a meeting with the governor's office today for about an hour and a half, trying to access additional funds for those that have been impacted either by flood or by the tornado. And so we had a very robust discussion with the chief of staff of the governor and also the administrator in charge of this area from the FEMA GOSEP office. And so we want our publics to know that we continue to push to get resources to help families recover or to be able to help us recover some of the funds we had to spend because of some of the major weather events that we've had here in our city. And there is another $1.2 billion coming from the federal level down to the state level. And we're pushing to get some of those funds right here in Shreveport in Northwest Louisiana. Last, on August 21st through August 24th of 2018, the Shreveport Police Department's Vice Unit joined forces with the Greenwood Police Department, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office, the Louisiana Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control, the FBI Crimes Against Children Task Force, and the United States Marshals Task Force to conduct a special initiative to combat human narcotic trafficking and prostitution offenses. Many times prostitution and human trafficking go hand in hand. Dubbed Operation Freedom, the collaborative effort yielded 38 arrests, and agents seized weapons, illegal narcotics, thousands of dollars in cash, as well as a vehicle. And so we continue to get those out of our communities that are creating a lot of the illegal activities as well as the violence. Those are the announcements I have for today. Mr. Chairman, we appreciate it. I don't know if somebody's going to bring up the EAP, but you're going to do that, okay? Thank you so much.
Okay. Councilman Evans.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate their patience. But at this time, I would like to call up David Smith from Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program. They are in our agreement with them. They give us an annual or twice a year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year update on their activity, and today is our chance to hear the latest. So we appreciate them being here and look forward to hearing.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mayor, thanks for the opportunity to come in and give you an update. And like I pointed out, it is twice a year, and I got some really good news for you today. I'm really proud of this. This is our 4th year that we've had the public-private partnership between the city, the parish, and the BRF for EAP. And in that time period, we have seen a lot of success. And you have to understand, this is a very Shreveport model that we put together. There's no other model like what we put together in this. But on my left here are the actual results. You can see we compared ourselves to our peers in this industry. But EAP is trending 54% above the benchmark set in 2014. We said that we would screen in North Louisiana, primarily Shreveport, 405. To date, we have already talked to, when I say screen, that's really sitting down with and talking to an entrepreneur, over 642 entrepreneurs. From that, 49 have actually launched their business in Shreveport. We originally estimated that in this 4-year period we could probably launch 10. We way overachieved on that. That's a 390% above what we targeted. That 49, if you take that 49 that launched, they have raised over $64 million in investment, bank loans, or federal grants, and in the case of one, an $11 million grant that went to NIDA grant. It was a National Institute of Health grant that went into that company. All of that was brought into Shreveport. All of these are headquarters in Shreveport. What that generated was 120 new jobs. And when you look across the country today, almost all of the new jobs generated in the country today are generated from startups. That's where the real growth is. And because of you and your partnership here, Shreveport is considered to be a startup-friendly community. Now, what does that mean in terms of annual payroll to us? About $6.6 million in those 120. Average salary for those technology-based jobs is about $55,000 for each one of those. Important for you to see, Jay, if you want to put up the second one, is what industries are we seeing this in? The big one, of course, is oil and gas, transportation, and food. That's a major portion of what we see. Now, those are not the perfect fit for EAP because we're focused on the technology-based ones. About 25% of what we see is technology-based. About 15% are consumer goods and services. Healthcare is about 14%. With healthcare being the largest industry in North Louisiana, we would expect that number to be bigger. We need to take a serious look at that number and see where the barriers are. Entertainment, trending down. We're down to 6% of the opportunities that we see focus in the entertainment industry. And then 1% are financial technologies, what we would call a fintech. Recently, the mayor came over to the BRF and unveiled our 10 new startups. Every year we like to have a ceremony and recognize our startups. We had 10, and I just want to quickly run through those. We're going to continue to do that every year. My goal is to fill up that wall at Intertech One with the logos of startup companies that have launched in Shreveport. There are 34 on there right now. The new ones were OleoLive. It is a University of Louisiana Monroe technology that they licensed, that they started their business here. Tomac is a residential and commercial glass manufacturing company. Asteri Networks is a web-based entertainment media network company located right here in downtown Shreveport. The Louisiana New Product Team, they're a prototyping company. It's 2 engineers from Louisiana Tech that when they graduated came to Shreveport to launch their business. Geo Career, oil field virtual training. Santa Clean, commercial cleaning for hospitals. Serafil, a surgical implant capability. Winfred Dance apparel company located right here in downtown Shreveport. Golden Ticket Studios, and Hope Pharmacy. Hope Pharmacy is the Northwest Louisiana sole marijuana or cannabis pharmacy for Louisiana. It's because of your support of the EAP program that we have been really able to do this. What this really means to you is that's a 64-to-1 return on investment. So for every dollar that the city put into EAP, these companies brought back 64. Now for the great news, and I whispered this to the mayor at the ceremony, but in your packet you have a little diagram right here. This diagram is what we call Norlead, and because of your investment in EAP, we applied for a Economic Development Administration under the Department of Commerce, a federal grant, and we were just awarded a $600,000 federal grant to EAP to expand what we've done with this model across 20 parishes in North Louisiana. Now, what that means is we'll need to hire 3 additional business analysts into EAP. Their primary focus is going to be to serve out of Shreveport. We're going to stay headquarters in Shreveport. Our efforts will be centered in Shreveport, but they're going to go out and help start up businesses in those 20 parishes. All those parishes are in North Louisiana. So this is really a validation by the federal government of the model that we put together. And now they're asking us to see if you can go forward across North Louisiana and do this. And I do believe that we can. There will not be a loss of service to the city of Shreveport or Caddo Parish. The primary team that I have right now will continue to service this area. I do expect to have the grant under contract by the end of the month, and as soon as I do, we're going to start going to work as quickly as we can. Thank you very much for this opportunity to update you, and it's going to be another great year.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Councilman Brown.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to yield to Council Lady Lynch. She tried to request to speak. It's not working.
Hello.
Ma'am?
I do have a few questions. Are you all still receiving parish funding?
We are.
EAP?
We are.
How much is that?
The parish put in $235,000.
What about the city?
The city put in $200,000.
Okay, and how many parishes is the $600,000 grant going to cover?
That will cover 20 additional parishes.
That's considered north, or are you going
Just
across
north.
I-20?
I'm going across I-20. I don't go any further than Natchitoches. It's really based upon the 2 EDA districts.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at there's the Northwest EDA district led by Mr. Bump Skaggs, and then there is the Northeast district, which is the Delta district, led by Mr. Creed in Monroe.
Okay. And so are you all vetting businesses? Tell them I'll call them back later.
He's
So
young
are
and
you
single.
all- yeah.
Sure you want to postpone?
Make them as chocolate as you can get them. Are you vetting businesses to locate in those areas, or you just vetting businesses? What's the model? What's the
The
grant
model
entail?
will, great question. The model will be, in the past, when we did not have federal funding, we only serviced Shreveport and Caddo Parish startups. This model allows us, with this federal funding, allows us to extend this model into the other parishes.
So will you be trying to get them, say if you're talking to someone out of Monroe, will you be trying to get them to locate their businesses in Washita Parish? Or is it, how
Right, I'm not, but prior to that, prior to this grant, one of the challenges we had, if somebody from Monroe asked us for help, we would tell them, are you moving to Shreveport? Because I can only help you if you're moving to Shreveport or Caddo Parish. And some did, a major portion of them did not. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, of that 624, I would tell you only about 200 of them were in Caddo Parish. They weren't willing to move. So we couldn't help them. So the issue being with this grant is they're going to come to Shreveport for support and service. There isn't any place you can get a new product prototype other than Shreveport. So the advantage to having these federal dollars really is the fact that we can go out and help you get started, but you got to come. You're going to end up, by the very nature of the technology-based companies, they're going to come to Shreveport for prototyping, legal services, accounting services, and everything else that they have to have.
And one of the reasons why I'm asking, because this is kind of going the way of the NLEP model. Sort of, just smile.
I understand. I understand where you're going.
And there's always been this question about, who do you really serve, and, where do you... So I'm just wondering if this, how do we protect our turf? I
understand
think of a better way to put it
Can I
right
add
now.
to your? I agree with your sentiment and want to just. I think. So is there a way that we can? People always say we need to promote regionalism, but it's always at the expense of Shreveport.
Right.
Is there a way we can promote regionalism without being at the expense of Shreveport?
And that is exactly why the base team and the project remains headquarters in Shreveport.
Well, NLEP is too. We'll talk about it as you all expand.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good thing that you are, because certainly we can benefit regionally from that synergy. But as Councilman Everson said, a lot of times it's been at the expense of Shreveport. Although we have, NLEP is housed here. It's just always been a question. Now, I'm not asking this for myself. I'm usually asking about liquor, but since you mentioned the marijuana, I want to ask you now, what's going on with that?
Yes.
I'm not asking.
It's in District B.
Oh, it's in District B.
Yes.
I don't know what he's smiling.
Yeah, that pharmacy. Yes, Hope Pharmacy has a license from the state of Louisiana to do the. There are so many regulations on them. You got to be an attorney and a pharmacist to figure this out. But they will be right across from University Health. They'll be building a pharmacy there, and for those that are in hospice or under specific treatment orders, okay, they will be able to get the doctor, when he writes a prescription for a cannabis treatment, that's where they'll get it.
Okay, so where are they building?
They're building a
Exactly.
pharmacy across what was that? Oh, there used to be like a Chinese restaurant right there. We've already
Okay.
torn it down. Yeah,
It's next to
right
the-
on Kings Highway,
next to
right
the-
across to.
Yeah, like I think it
next to
was
the
where the
Subway.
Taco Bell was.
Yeah, there was a Taco Bell, and then it became a Chinese restaurant and something else. So that building.
It was a Sam's Eatery.
Yes, right. Yeah. So it's already been torn down. They've already started breaking ground.
So that's how y'all lured Councilman Bowman over there? Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr.
Yes,
Smith.
sir.
And let me again, thank you for the report. I thought the report was very impressive. Whenever we can add jobs and economic prosperity to the city is a good thing. And I was looking at your report where in the last 3 years you vetted or reviewed at least 600 plus potential business ideas. Do they come to you? How do you recruit to vet and to assist?
The number one way is through internet. If you go to eapla.com, if I optimize that site to where if you put any business term in there, your EAP is probably going to come up. So, number one is the internet. The second is referrals. I think I've gotten a referral from every elected official in Caddo Parish, as well as the other economic development organizations in the region is probably number three.
In regards to those potential entrepreneurs, how is those potential diverse? What kind of diversity is included?
Great question. I track every form of metric I can get. I would tell you about 40% of all opportunities that I see are minority based. The challenge we have is when I compare Shreveport, Caddo Parish to the rest of the country in terms of startups, women of color are not represented where they should be. They should be significantly higher. The second one that we are underachieving in is veteran-owned businesses. In my entire portfolio, I probably only have 3 veteran-owned businesses. Now, that's alarming when you have Barksdale right across, the river over there, and a major portion of the airmen that get out, stay, and go to work here. I think there is something there that we need to do more to attract more veterans and definitely women of color into entrepreneurship.
And the reason I'm asking some of these is that the latest Alice report have shown that Shreveport, Caddo Parish, 48% of our residents, citizens, live on or below the poverty level. 48%. Now, you're saying jobs are being created, and I'm trusting that in some metrics of scope that these are livable wage paying jobs, but we still have a high number of residents who's not making a living wage. How the jobs that have been created through your agent have you seen? What would you say is the education or skill attainment that would attract these type of employees?
I would say the skill is manufacturing.
Okay.
The skill is manufacturing. Perfect example is the glass company. I don't have their employment numbers in here, but they just launched. They have a building just off of North Market Street that they just rented. They're going to employ 25 employees in the production of commercial and residential glass. They're leveraging NLEP's programs to train the 25 operators. They're going to hire them all local. They're going to train them in the manufacturing of that glass. And And the minimum wage that they're paying, okay, in that startup, okay, we estimate the minimum will be right around $14 to $15 starting out. So anything we do, okay, that we look at that, okay, from what's the real benefit here? We're not going to help, it's not the EAP's role. If you're going to come in and you just want to hire minimum wage deals, you're not a good fit for us, okay? We got to step it up a little bit because of the impact that you're talking about. Sure. We have to impact that in our community.
And again, let me congratulate you on your report. I see positive things to happen, but I'm looking at the chart, and I could understand why entertainment is lessening, because you got to have disposable dollars to entertain. But I want you to express, what do you think? Because most municipalities like us are growing through tech expansions. Healthcare, we okay over there where I'm at, so we okay there. But is there anything that could happen in Shreveport that could give us a greater piece of that tech market that's for this region?
I think we're doing the right. First of all, I think with what we're doing collectively is definitely working. I think the skill set that that we see the biggest demand in is software skills, software coders, software developers, software engineers. If there's a way that we can produce more of those and get additional technology-based startups here. We have 4 technology-based companies in Shreveport, in downtown Shreveport right now. They automatically, because of what their wages that they pay and the demand, they're higher. They're going to lift us up. They automatically generate a better return on our investment. And with every job we create, it's pretty simple. There's the second and third order effect. Another job is created, which means we start adding more jobs. And a lot of our problems in our community the more jobs we add, the fewer problems we're going to have. So I hope I answered your question, but it's definitely software in that area. So if we can come together and start producing more software engineers, all of the EAP companies, the requirement is 51% of the company must be in Shreveport, Caddo Parish. All of ours meet that requirement. But there are specialty development jobs like that we have to go to Austin and get. And believe it or not, one of our portfolio companies, in his newsletter, he has about 3 employees that are in California because of just the technical job. He's advertising Shreveport in his letter. Everything that happens good here, his employees nationwide get that. And Hilton Nicholson from Cyber Reef Solution, he does the same thing. Most of his sales force, because he's selling a product in the telecommunications market, he's promoting Shreveport every time he sends a company newsletter out on that. So there are some good things happening from that perspective.
And I would like to have opportunity to give you a call. I'm really
Positively, sir.
I'm really concerned about the lack of minority and minority women, especially in seeking these type of opportunities that you can assist. So I'll give you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I want to congratulate Mr. Smith and all the people who work with him at EAP for their determination. And we work very closely with them, and we refer a lot of companies over there. And also on the $600,000 that you kind of secretly told me about, congratulations on getting those funds. It will certainly help our city and our region. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything for Dennis Green, property stamp?
Right here.
Seeing none. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Crawford, we got your collection plan. Mr. Bradford, the same. No public hearing. Mr. Thompson, is there any legislation to be added today?
We have not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We have the following request to speak. Today.
Excuse me, sir. The only one we have is Sammy, and Sammy apparently has some remarks for us today about a specific issue on our agenda, the Independence Bill.
Yes. Sammy Mears, 1901 Centenary Boulevard, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101. Yes, I believe it's a wonderful idea for the city of Shreveport and also the Independence Bowl Foundation to be able to be related to the production of the Independence Bowl and many other activities. I'd like to see this on a continuous basis, where there's a sponsor for the taking care of the two football teams to come to the Independence Bowl to play football, and when they do, and they will, nobody will ever want to pass up a good football game, because it's a good thing to go to that and to see the game live in coverage. Now, if it's too cold for other people to end up getting out, in the case of that, they'd still like to watch the thing on television, and I think that's really great. So this situation between the two cities, the city of Shreveport and the Independence Bowl to happen and to continue as long as possible, I'd like to see that continue as much as possible. If you'll do this today and accept that, it would be appreciated, because when they come to play for a trophy, that's very important to the two football teams, and they don't want to end up being left out in the cold. So that's very, very vital. And I like watching it on my television, and I'm not going to get out and catch no cold, but I'm going to watch it on TV if it's too cold.
Sammy, you got to come to the game.
You got to come to the game.
And catch cold?
No, you need to be in the suite, Sammy. You got to get you a suite ticket.
Somebody up there has cracked their cold.
We could be, Stephanie, you get 2 tickets? I'll help give them a ride.
Yeah,
We'll
work it out.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, one of our council members had asked to speak, and I forgot to remind. So Councilwoman Lynch would like the opportunity to speak and recognize the guest first.
That was earlier, but that's fine.
Yes, I wanted to ask Mr. Lester Smith to come up, and I wanted to Lester Smith to come up and prior to my becoming the council person for District F, there were, in the last decade, I'll say, we had 5 neighborhood associations. I was president of one of them and worked closely with another one. And I'm not sure what happened after I got elected. I think everybody just, decided to, Stephanie will handle it, and they went home. And but over the last, year, the Hollywood Heights Reunion Committee and the Moortown Reunion Committee and the Hollywood Heights Reunion Committees and some others have formed what is now the Moortown Neighborhood Association. And Mr. Smith was elected president of a new organization, and so I just wanted to give him time and space to have words today and to say thank you to everyone that's all the officers, current officers, and community members that showed up. I know you all had a meeting about a week or so ago. And just to let everyone know that this organization is up and running, and the community has come out and shown that they are very interested in, standing this organization up and being active and involved in the community and working with their elected officials and just working across organizations to make our community better. And I really appreciate that. Thank you.
My name and address? Name Lester Smith, address 4148 Theo Street. I'd like to thank Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch for this opportunity. And I'd like to thank all those that worked with us since the reunion to bring the Moortown Neighborhood Association into fruition. And it's, we're just out, I guess, trying to find whatever problems we deem necessary to try to make our community a better community and a safer community. And that's our goal, is to make it a better community, a safer community, and to bring people back to the Moortown area. And the main focus is to really make Moortown be the community that it was designed to be. Home ownership and people taking pride in where they live, and we don't we don't have a lot of that going on now. But our goal is to really work hard to make our message clear that we want Motown to be the best that it can be in the city of Shreveport. And I'd like to thank my committee, my vice president, my secretary, my treasurer, and all those people that showed up at our meeting Thursday. So I'm just thankful, and I'm looking forward to just really getting to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I just want to thank Mr. Smith also. Councilwoman Lynch had shared with me some of the things that the group, the association, started doing, and I think cleaning up, developing that pride was one of those things that she shared with me. And I do want to say thank you to Mr. Smith for taking on that vision to restore pride in the community, in the neighborhood, and getting people to not only just invest, but really be vested in the community and helping to keep it clean and beautiful. That pride will show through if we can get more people in neighborhoods to do that. Even though he's walking out, I still want to say thank you.
I think the
The
news
cameraman
person
asked
wanted
him to come outside.
ask him to come
Okay,
out.
well,
And so I think sometime in the near future, they're gonna want to have a meeting, Mayor.
Yes.
Like we normally do with city departments.
Yes, ma'am.
Available, and so I'll let you know when that is. So now, Sunset Acres, Ingleside, Warner Park, I need Cedar Grove, I need other neighborhood associations.
absolutely. Thank you,
In
Councilwoman.
District F to, to step up to the plate. I just, it's where I cut my teeth. A lot of us, cut our teeth working in neighborhood associations. And, so they're just very important and vital to us improving our communities and addressing a lot of the issues that you think one person is supposed to be responsible for, either, whether that's the city or your council person. No, it takes all of us working together in order to make our communities better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. There are no items on the consent agenda for introduction or to be adopted. Mr. Thompson, can we continue with regular agenda items?
The first is Resolution 109. It authorizes a contract between the City of Shreveport and the Independence Bowl Foundation relative.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, second by the Vice Chair. Please vote. Motion carries with 7. Mr. Thompson.
Resolution 110 authorizes a waiver to the Fuller Center for Housing of Northwest Louisiana, Inc. for all city permits and inspection fees associated with the construction of up to 100 new homes in the City of Shreveport during the time period beginning with the effective date of this resolution and ending on December the 31st, 2022.
110 was moved by Councilman Everson and seconded by the Vice Chair. If there's no discussion, please vote. Motion carries with 7.
We're now on to introduction of resolutions. There are 2 items. Resolution 111 authorizes the execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Louisiana Film Prize, LLC. Resolution number 112 authorizes the mayor to accept a fire prevention and safety grant in the amount of $38,572 from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Department of Homeland Security to be utilized by the Shreveport Fire Department for the purchase of smoke alarms and literature to be distributed to the citizens of Shreveport.
Been moved on to it. Been moved by Councilman Everson and seconded by the Vice Chair.
Mhm.
If there's no discussion, please vote.
These are resolution, introduction, resolution.
Introductions.
Introduction.
Is there a motion to introduce these resolutions?
Yeah, that was.
We just voted on it.
That was my motion.
Okay, there we go. 7.
We're now in the introduction of ordinances. First is ordinance 74. It amends the City of Shreveport, Louisiana 2018 Special Revenue Fund budget, State Narcotic Fund, appropriating the funds authorized herein and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Ordinance 75 authorizes and provides for the encroachment on a portion of city public dedication from Lot 15 Piermont Hills subdivision. Ordinance 76 authorizes the mayor to execute a lease of city-owned property located at 109 Spring Street in Caddo Parish to 107 Spring Street LLC for the improvements to the subject property, including creation of additional downtown public parking for purposes which benefit the public.
So move for introduction.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair and seconded by Councilman Everson. If there's no discussion, please vote. Motion carries with 7. Mr. Thompson, would you proceed? with
Under
the ordinance?
ordinances on second reading, there is one, ordinance 73. It amends the City of Shreveport's 2018 general fund budget appropriating the funds
So moved.
authorized herein.
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Lynch and seconded by Councilman Everson. Please vote.
No discussion?
Is there any discussion? sir?
Yeah, I had a question about personal services of 89,000. What are we taking on that? You may have said it yesterday. I may have missed it.
Councilman Fleury, the personal services pay for salaries, retirements, health insurance for the employees. That's money that's budgeted that was going to be in excess of what they needed for the year. So they're not going to be doing without. They're not cutting any services or personnel. This is just money. They have 2 very large budgets, and so moving this small amount down helps them facilitate this need.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for that.
Motion carries with 7.
Those are all of the items on the regular agenda. I'm not aware of any matter on the table legislation to be removed.
Sir, we have no property standards or ABO appeals. Are there any other appeals, Mr. Thompson?
We have no other appeals.
All right, are there any reports from officers, boards, or committees? Seeing 0, is there clerk's reports?
As discussed yesterday, we have several items from the mayor, several appointments, 2 on the Civil Service Board, Sergeant Michael Carter and Sergeant Serben, Dean Willis, Assistant City Engineer Sathanathan Telepan.
I move that it be confirmed, Mr. Chairman.
We have Councilman Fleury on speak.
Mr. Chairman, would it be in order at this time that we go ahead and confirm these?
You need to
So we
suspend the
need to
rules.
suspend
I'll
the
make a
rules.
motion to
Would-
suspend the rules. It would be in order to suspend the rules. And
I'll second that.
Been motion by Councilman Fleury and seconded by Councilman Everson to suspend the rule. If there's no discussion, please vote.
now we need a motion to
It's been motion by Councilman Bradford and seconded by Councilman Fleury.
That's on all of the appointments.
That's for all of the
That's
appointments?
for all 3.
Yes.
Please vote.
I'm going to do this fluidly. I need a new word. I need a new word, Fleur.
Motion carries with 7.
Mr. Chairman, we'll have an executive session. One has been called immediately after this meeting.
Okay.
Those are all of my comments.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, was the vote on the confirmation 7-0?
Yes, sir. 7-0. Madam Mayor, you have any additional communications?
No, sir, not today. Thank you.
Any council member have any additional communication?
Yes, I'm gonna. I know we're on a short schedule today, but I'm gonna discuss Resolution 111 with Councilman Jenkins Not today, though. Thank you.
Just going to reference 111 so I can think about it, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to catch a flight Saturday.
Be safe.
All right.
Are you piloting?
I'm piloting around the little storm in the southeast there.
Be careful.
That's why I'm trying to get started.
There you go.
Councilman Bradford?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to announce that on Thursday, September 13th at 5 p.m., there will be a meeting with the residents in around Allendale to discuss, to get the latest update for the I-49 inner city connector. Mr. Ken Rogers, Clark, Executive Director, will be there to give us the update as well as answer any questions. And I want to remind the residents and those who will be attending that this is not to circumvent what has already happened. The decision, Mayor, the recommendation from the board that you serve on with them has made their recommendation to the state, and that includes the inner city route. So, but it's been a year since that recommendation has been made, and we haven't heard any latest. I know there's a lot of budgetary issues, and I heard the other day there was a priority has leaked us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But we'll get all that information from Mr. Rogers, and but I just wanted the citizens to know that we won't be duplicating or rehashing some things that have already been decided.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Now we're down to public comment. We have the following to speak, and Councilman Corbin will address those.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up, we have Sandra Mack.
Below.
Not here. Okay. All right, next, Jeffrey Jackson. We're doing pretty good.
I'm going to say all right.
Gloria Ann Johnson. And as a reminder, when you approach the podium, please state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to make your comments.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Gloria Ann Johnson. I live at 3018 Nona Circle, Shreveport, Louisiana. Councilman Fleury is my councilman. And I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 35 years, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Inspire Network, which we have a Now We Know campaign, and our campaign is to educate men and women on the harmful effects of sanitary products that are sold in the stores that cause women not only to not be able to perform their wifely duties, motherly duties, but also their work duties. And that is because of lost time, because of cramps, can't get to work, or you're over your desk, you can't work. We have new products that are on the market that greatly improves or eliminates the problems that causes women to lose time on their job. And we would ask that the city would consider letting us be your minority vendor for women's feminine products. We have so many products that we can help you save money by your employees not losing their time off work because of the issues related to their feminine hygiene products. And I have supplied each one of the councilmen that I knew of. There were 7 of you, I counted. And it tells you about the harmful effects of products that are on the market, such as the main chemical is dioxin, which is not digoxin for your heart, but dioxin is the #1 cancer-causing chemical that's in products. It is more deadly than cyanide and arsenic. And we have these products that have no chemicals, totally chemical-free, that women can use. So if you have a woman that you love or care about in your life, they can use these products, and it will greatly eliminate their problems women. We have testimonies from women that it has cut their cycles down from 14 days to 4 days. It has totally eliminated or greatly removed the cramps, and it has absolutely no odor. No odor. And this is a worldwide mission. We currently are opening a boutique in Jamaica at this time, the first ever in the world. And we want to spread this communication throughout the area. One of the main teams of Inspire Network is located right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport Bossier is led by my team leader, Mr. Keith Evans. And so we would subject that you would review this information. You can contact us. Our main office is located, if you're interested, in Atlanta, Georgia, 3399 Peachtree Road in Atlanta, Georgia. But like I say, we service all over the world, a global mission. And that is, when you have time, I would love to come back and give you a demonstration, just a fantastic way that this product does work for women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. We were on Shark Tank for a minute. Getting the pitch. Next up, Mr. Sammy Mears.
I'm back. Sammy Mears, 1901 Centenary Boulevard, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101, and Jeff Everson's my councilman. And on September 3rd, I had to get out for Labor Day. I was not going to stay home. I could see no reason to be dull, not on Labor Day. So what I did was I went over to Strawn's Eat Shop and decided to get a bite to eat. I got caught in a slight little sprinkle coming back home, but not too bad on the way back. I talked to somebody from my church on the phone. They felt a little bit bad for me, and I said, don't worry, the clothes will dry up overnight, which they obviously did. And since they did, while I was watching a marathon of Alice, I enjoyed the entire marathon because a lot of times Mel would say, stow it. Flo would say, kiss my grits. That's her usual saying. And especially one time when they went up to a cabin, Flo, Vera, and Alice saw Mel kissing his girlfriend. She said, kiss my cheek and nose. And Flo said, kiss my grits, Mel. Which was very interesting. Then recently, Vera served a plate of food to the mother and daughter on the program, and she was listening while the mother told her daughter, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1, and Vera interrupted and said, the other 2 escaped with minor injuries. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Very wrong. And then, of course, it was really crazy, too, because she was cooking 3 sausage links, pulls out one and says, this little piggy went to market, put it on the plate. This little piggy stayed home, put that on the plate. She said, and this little third piggy got burned to a crisp. She threw it, well, she was going to go throw it in the trash. Then she said, you got burned to a crisp, bye-bye. And then another waitress said, why are you talking to it? And Vera said, because I can. I should have known. And then the thing is that she would say just about anything dumb. Even when one time they were locked in the storage room and Mel said that a 5-pound can of cherries was gone, Vera says, a mouse ran off with it. He said, you dingy, a mouse doesn't run off with a 5-pound can of cherries. He does if he likes fruit with his cheese. And leave it to her to say something. And then when when Flo said that she and Jerry Reed grew up together like puppies, Vera said, I didn't know you two went arf together. And Flo said, Vera, I don't know how you got to be where you're at today. Your body's here, but your brain's out there. And she said, knock it off, Granny. Auntie!
Sammy, you need some color in your life. Have you ever watched Power?
I beg your pardon?
Have you ever watched the show Power? You might want to watch Power, Sammy. Yes, you do. You need a little color in your life.
Mr. Chairman, with that, our public comments is concluded.
All right. If there's nothing
Mr.
else.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
There are two last responses, I think. Council Lady, did you want to say something?
No, that was an old.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say 2 things real quick. And the first one is I appreciate us voting to continue our support for the Independence Bowl. I think we have engaged into a very positive relationship with Walk On, and think Mr. Sellers is doing a fantastic job, and if the weather holds up, I think this will be a great Independence Bowl. I think it looked like our selection is going to be very positive because those conferences seem to be very competitive this year. But I really wanted to say, Mayor, and I don't know how we can do this, and this is a response to the request to speak by Ms. Sandra Mack. Ms. Mack is a resident of my district, and she have repeatedly talked about the ditch the drainage ditch that Lanier Street goes over. I've made several requests for service for this ditch. And I guess she felt compelled to come down, and City Attorney just made me aware that Mike Woods and some others will be going over and look at that situation. Okay. But the thing that I wish we could sort of address and work out is that when we make requests for services and nothing happens and we don't get feedback, our constituents think that we ain't responding to their situation. Oftentimes they don't understand that we cannot dispatch one city employee to a job site or to a work detail, and that they don't know that, but they yet hold council people sometimes responsible for getting those things done. Right. So if we can somehow communicate a little better so that we can relate back to our people what's the status of what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It would be very helpful for us.
Absolutely. And let me respond, because that is the intent. We want to respond. We get so many requests every week. It appears that since this mayor and this council have been aboard, we respond. And sometimes things fall through the cracks. But everybody now wants us to fix what's been left undone for 25 years, and we're trying to get to it. And, and I want our citizens to know that we're very, very responsive. Oftentimes, we are pulled in so many different directions. But we're going to do a better job of communicating, and that has been one of the things that I've been pushing lately. I know the staff is tired because, I myself send many requests to them, and they are pulled in a lot of different directions. It appears since we do respond, everybody thinks we need to respond right now. And oftentimes we have a list of what we're supposed to do every day. And I'm not offering excuses, but then when we have emergencies, we get pulled to go to address those. And, we only have so many people that we can employ. But we are going to do a better job of communicating. And we try to say to some of the citizens, give us an opportunity to evaluate the situation. We've got some things that we're trying to get done in a prioritized manner, but it is what it is. Oftentimes, we can't get to it right then because we have so many things that have been left undone. We're still trying, but we are cleaning ditches every day. We're doing a lot of things that it appears that have not been done, and consequently, oftentimes we're seen as not being as responsive, and I know that sometimes we're not as responsive and we're not communicating like we should. Sometimes we don't have numbers to call. They'll call with, an email address, and we can't get them to respond back to us and give us a number. But we'll keep trying to do a better job of communicating.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate
it.
You didn't see my name. I had pushed my name.
Executive session?
Chairman, don't we have executive session? I think you have to go into executive session. Wait.
You have a script.
You've got to return into executive session.
You have a script.
Special meeting.
Mr. Chairman.
I just want to congratulate you because I'm
Mr. Chairman.
so proud.
Can we get some order, please?
With your name.
Mr. Chairman, this special meeting has been called in order to determine whether or not there should be an executive session pursuant to LSA RS 4216 and RS 4217A2 to discuss matters relative to the following: Larry Cunningham versus City of Shreveport, docket number 17-1056, United States District Court, Western District of Louisiana. Mr. Chairman, you might want to find out if there is any person in the audience who wants to speak at this time.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you. I want you to know that.
Is there anyone present in the audience that wants to speak for or against the special meeting? Anyone want to speak for or against the special meeting?
One Friday night and one Saturday or something.
Seeing none.
Mr. Chairman, a motion to go into executive session would be in order.
Been moved by Councilman Everson and seconded by Councilman Fleury to go into executive session. Please vote.
Well, she's still saying good. You tell her I said hello. How's your family doing?
Everybody hear what we say.
And keep up the good work. Thank you.
That's a
And
good
call me
thing
if we can
sometimes.
ever do anything to help.
Thank you.
Okay?